Ain't no countdown. Yeah, yeah, ain't no countdown. It's the unbiased fan Grim Reaper. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Is that Stephen Brimley? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is Stephen Brimley. Talking a little bit of this boxing action. So yesterday, while I was at work, you know, I was watching two fights at the same time. So I had the song going down, and then I had the ESPN going down, and my gear boy, I'm going to get this out of the way. The fight could go any way. I ain't gonna say it was a robbery. I think one of the scorecards was booty, but that knockdown in the 12th, that saved Mungia, boy. That saved Mungia. Good fight, though. Excellent fight. But I just wanted to mention that real quick before I get into the actual main topic, which is a fighter I do not like. I make no bones about it. Not a fan. But we must give credit and respect when it's earned. And oh boy, yesterday it was earned. And why was it earned? Because Teofimo Lopez had a countering ass whooping clinic on Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor looked like a shell of himself. Josh Taylor got his ass whooped. Unfortunately, that is what happened. But we must give credit where credit is due. Literally after the fourth round, the fight was one-sided completely. I did not expect to see Josh Taylor be the person almost on the canvas. I picked Josh Taylor to kick his ass, but it was the opposite. He got his ass kicked. That shit is crazy. I was truly surprised by what I seen. I was watching the TV screen and I wasn't mad at it. It was just like, damn, Teo going off on him. Teo is teeing on him. Literally by the ninth round, I was like, if Josh Taylor don't do something, this fight is over with. And the fight was over with. I mean, the countering of the shots, and Josh Taylor, I respect the fact he made no excuses. You know, he didn't make any excuses. But I do think them 17 months off probably hurt him some. And it might have hurt him to the point where he's officially on that back nine of his career. He's Tiger Woods in it right now. I don't know, man. That didn't look like any Josh Taylor I've seen, except for Catterall. And that says a lot. The man never could keep his balance consistently. The fact that the best place for him to be able to do something in the fight was on the inside, and he's the longer fighter, it smothered his punches. He couldn't be able to gauge the proper distance to be able to land the right shots, which turned into a lot of headlocks. He was trying to give him nuggies. Let me get you a nuggie. That's what he was trying to do. And unfortunately for him, Teofimo, last night in the ring, he was ready. He was ready. Boy, that was a clinic after the fourth round. I mean, seriously. I'd be lying to tell you if I wasn't impressed by what he did. Not everybody will be, but me, speaking for me, yeah, I was impressed. The man got the job done, was very effective. In that 12th round, I thought he was out of here. I thought he was done for. I thought he was going to go night-night. You want to go night-night, nigga? You know? But he hung on. He survived and made it to the scorecard. Now, that scorecard is another conversation. 115, 113, doggy. I don't agree with that. 116, 112 is the worst I could give a scorecard. For me, it was 117, 111. There was two swing rounds, and both of those swing rounds went to T.O., in my opinion. 117, 111. You know? But I guess if you gave both the swings that rounds, they'll make it 115, 113. But I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. I don't see going into the 12th round. This fight being a fight where if Josh Taylor wins the round, it's a draw. No, I don't see that. You judges are fucking trash, y'all basura. The shit that y'all be putting down on y'all fucking scorecards is horrible. Can we get some younger blooded judges, man? Maybe I need to apply or something because do you see what I see? These motherfuckers can't see, bro. I'm just sorry. They're going third eye blind up in this bitch. That's just my opinion, bro. They can't see a motherfucking thing. Because that 115, 113 was not the right score when you look at that fight from last night. Just being real. But again, Teofimo Lopez, what does this mean for him in regards to his positioning and standing in boxing? Well, he's a two-time Ring Magazine lineal champion from 135, 140. He made his argument as being an undisputed at 135, and a lot of us say no, but if it wasn't a lot of fuck shit going on in boxing, he would have been. But unfortunately, there's fuck shit in boxing, right? So, and Josh Taylor didn't lose his belts literally by decision, even though Jack Catterall really beat him. But that's another story and another topic on another day. But he beat the guy who had not been beaten. And very thoroughly, by the way. And I think Teofimo Lopez is top 10 pound for pound at this point. I have a very hard time not putting him in that list. When I look at the pound for pound top 10, and shout out to my brother Mark Nash, he asked me, what's your pound for pound top 10? And I'm thinking like, damn, who can it be? And I said, Teo's got to be in there. He went over the list and we went over the people, and I might have to recalibrate my list, but I just can't see a top 10 without Teofimo in it based on what he has done. And again, I'm a boxing fan. I respect the craft. I'm not a Teofimo Lopez fan at all. But what that man did yesterday deserves to be acknowledged, respected, and properly noted and given its due. And I'm going to do that. So I think anybody that doesn't have him in your top 10 pound for pound, or at least right there on the cusp of it at worst, I think you're being disingenuous. That's my word, disingenuous. I love that word. I think you're being disingenuous if you do that. That's just my personal opinion. So what's next for him, which kind of is an interesting aspect. Yeah. Oh, what's up, True? True Media. I appreciate you pulling up on me, man. I just figured I wanted to talk about this Teo stuff, man, because he looked better than the old Teofimo, bro. That Teo was better than the Loma Teo. That was the best Teo in his career. I mean, it was phenomenal work, man. The guy was on his shit. There's no debate. It's clearly, man. And I even his biggest distractors, we have to tip the cap. Listen, I guarantee if we looked at all the polls, it was like 70 to 80% of people picking Josh Taylor to win this fight. Because everybody thinking, he mentally shot. Something wrong with the kid. He ain't stable. His dad's on the book. Listen, and all those things were going into the fight were legitimate concerns, to be honest with you. But this fight, you still got to go in the ring and do your job. And that man went in the ring and did his job to the utmost. I mean, people might can make some excuses for Josh Taylor or whatever have you. He didn't make any, but we have to give Teofimo Lopez the credit that he has earned and deserved, bar none. There's no doubt about it. Now, the man is talking about retiring, right? I think there's a little caveat to that. His dad, his team, they was trying to pull him away last night when he was talking to the reporters about $1 million ain't enough, And a lot of people, we always talking about fighting for legacy and yada yada. And then at the end of the day, these guys are prize fighters. And what he did last night has put him in a position where he's warranted to make. He should be making more than 1 million a fight. Excuse me. He should be in a position to get paid. He's operating like one of the best, so he must get paid like one of the best. I ain't gonna try to shortchange that man's value. I'm not. So he's going to have to take a few appropriate steps to be in position to do so. Him retiring and saying he's retiring is probably one of those potential things that he has thought to himself to do. Or maybe he's just tired and wants to take a break. So he uses the word retire. It's going to stir the pot, right? I personally believe it's multifaceted why he's doing this. One, because the fight that would probably be the most lucrative for him would probably be a Ryan Garcia fight. And especially if Ryan Garcia fights Rolly and he gets the belt. So if that's what his strategic move, then he can wait. That fight has to be completely made and then done. So he can take a break. And him saying retiring, him being on the sidelines for 4 or 5 months would be no problem because he's waiting on something. Because if we look at his options, they're not limited, but when you're dealing with the politics and the business of boxing with different, promotional companies, it does limit the landscape. Let's look at the landscape, right? So we have Regis Prograis as a champion. Regis Prograis signed with Metro. We have Matias as a champion. Matias is with PBC. We have Rolly. I don't deserve to have this title. Romero. He has the title, and he's at PBC. So all three of the other title holders that Teofimo Lopez would have to go through to get the belts are on different promotional companies. And when it comes to having different promotional companies, if it's going to be a joint venture, there's certain type of businesses that has to be in place for it to even be in question, right? Well, Matias, good as a fighter he is, much of a boogeyman he is, the money is a boogeyman too. They don't want to come by because it ain't there for that fight. He doesn't have the following. There's no money in that fight. And if Tio's complaining about not getting paid enough, there you have that kind of gives you an answer on where that fight would go as of right now. Regis Prograis. Matchroom. Not saying it's an unlikely fight. It's a fight that can happen. I think the chances are much more increased in comparison to what you say, right? But we have to be honest here. Regis Prograis, I really like the guy. Great fighter. But he doesn't generate the same type of capital that is on a larger scale. Us diehard boxing fans love and respect him, or respect him, whoever you stand on regards to Regis Prograis. But as of right now, as I'm speaking, Regis Prograis does not move a needle to a significant number where these guys can walk in and get $5 million a piece for this fight. You know what I mean? I'm just being realistic here. I don't want to front. It's got to be real. Now, Rolly, that's the other belt. Rolly is okay. So Davis has already stepped aside. Basically, it looks like. So Rolly and Ryan is the fight. I don't think on the guys arena if Rolly beats Ryan, but he could. But if it goes down, I think it's going to be Ryan, right? It's worth him waiting for that fight because that fight alone makes enough money for a cross-promotional deal. That's the most legitimate fight to happen for a belt when it comes to this situation for Teofimo Lopez, looking at that landscape. Now, there are other factors, though. There is another fight to be had. Devin Haney is a fight to be had at 140, and it's an easier fight to make because Devin Haney is still on the fence, not signed with a promotional company, and Bob Arum can dangle that carrot, and he can bite that carrot, and it can turn into a major fight. It definitely could. He could get his money with that fight, but does he want to fight Devin Haney? Some people who are Devin Haney fans and T.O. distractors, and some people even believe in T.O., will think that he don't want no parts of Haney. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's not, but that's some of the people's sentiment, right? So if that happens to be true, and this team would prefer him not to be fighting Haney, then waiting would be the best move. And by waiting, he can make brash announcements that moves the needle for popularity and have people talk about him. I'm retiring. I think that might be the strategy. I could be wrong. I could be right, but that looks like something that could definitely be a possibility. At this point, we'll be just speculating, but I think there's some pretty respectable speculating that I'm doing right now. So, in a nutshell, when we talking about Teofimo Lopez, because I'm not going to be long on here, I don't expect to have 300-400 people on my lives like some of these other brothers. Salute to all of them, because I do watch and support a lot of people who make great content on YouTube, and it's not with the propaganda machines and the suck offs and the fuckboy shit. I show respect to all of y'all. I think you all know who you are. Simply put, Teofimo Lopez is in a position to make changes and options and to do certain things. Now, some of the things about Teofimo I don't like about how he talked about it. You'll keep the black fighters, top rank, don't look out for me. But the fact of the matter is, the reason why he was in that position is based on his own movements. What's up? Our money, our moolah, baby. Appreciate you, man, for pulling up on me for a little bit. Pull up on me. Up on me. Now, the things that Tio did that hurt his stock, just to be real here. That's why I got tight with him, because I'm like, where's your fucking accountability, homie? The fact that you can't boast his fight, it's gonna be gonna do 2 million pay-per-view. This is type of goofy shit that came out of his mouth. And then he tried to take it to Triller, right? But you're with Top Rank and you're undermining them to try to take this fight to Triller. Then the shit blows up in your face. Then you end up fighting it with Top Rank, and then you end up losing the fucking fight. That's a lot of damage to take, man. That's body shots that you're taking that is hurting your brand. He hurt his own brand by his own movements, the sermon says. And that's why you had a few notches off for you, bro. It ain't got to do with black fighters. Boxing's very what have you done for me lately? Can we cue up the fucking Janet Jackson? So knowing that, you had to build your shit back up, and you put a couple fights in at 140. You didn't look too phenomenal. You won, but you didn't look so phenomenal. So the jury was still out. A lot of us was counting you out. And shout out to you for making sure you counted yourself in, bro. I'm going to give you respect, but I always will say you need to be accountable for your shit and take accountability to where you have got the position you got yourself into. That's always been my issue with you, T.O. You got to do that. Yeah, smells like OTR. He called the takeover for a reason. Well, he took over last night. He took over like a motherfucker, boy. Listen, I was watching the fight. I ain't saying my jaw was on the floor, no, but I'm just watching the fight, looking at like, T.O. is whooping this boy ass. He's landing all these counter shots, and every time Taylor gets inside, he can't do shit. And that's it, and that's what made the fight the dynamic of this fight, because Taylor is the longer guy, but he did not know how to use his length at all, because T.O. is a much slicker fighter, moves a lot more fleet of foot. But some of the mistakes that T.O. been making, he still was making, but just Josh Taylor was in no shape to take advantage of those things. But inside, he was smothering his own punches. His work just could not be done. He couldn't get any work done. He was smothering his own shit. I think his length and the fact that best for him was to fight on the inside, and he was able to effectively execute all that, was doomsday for the boy. It was Hiroshima for the nigga. You know what I mean? Yeah, he looked 2 weight classes bigger, and he was longer. And guess what it meant? Bo diddly. It meant nothing whatsoever. It didn't mean anything. It didn't mean shit. It's crazy. But I don't know if you heard me earlier. It smells like OTR. But I think Josh Taylor is using the retirement as a ploy. A lot of fighters have done this over the years. And he got a lot of affairs he need to get in order. This was at least another part of what I was saying. So I said he was doing it because I feel like the fight he feels like is going to be the most lucrative is a, Rolly Ryan Garcia winner fight. He got time. Them two still got to fight. So he got time. So he can say, I'm a retire, fall back. But I think one of the biggest things why he's doing is because his wife. He's going through divorce proceedings, right? I don't like to really get all in the business, personal shit, but let's be real here. If he's retired and he ain't breaking in all this money, his wife can't take as much bread from him. They get set for what she's gonna get. So this could be all tactical, bro. This could be all tactical. We call To crazy, but he's smart in that ring, and maybe he's actually trying to make some smart moves outside of the ring. Maybe that could be the case. I think that's part of what he's doing. I could be wrong, but I could be right. So, and it just because I'm not going to be here forever, I think the couple dynamics again in a recap. One, Teofimo was dominant. It looks phenomenal. He took Josh Taylor out, did a great job. Salute and kudos, especially because a lot of us were thinking it was time for him to fall back and he was about to get his ass whooped. I thought he was going to get his ass whooped. I was wrong. 100% wrong. All the way wrong. Then his status on where he is a pound for pound. I think he's in the top 10. He should be in most people's top 10, in my personal opinion, because his resume shits. I mean, shits. It shits on so many of the other fighters. Try to bring Tank's resume and have a conversation with him compared to Tio. Fuck out of here. Haney's. It's better than Haney. Bro, his resume is fire. It is. We have to keep it a bean. He has a really good fucking resume. He does. No hate. Gotta keep it real, bro. His resume is great. And then the fact that he said he retired. And I think it's more strategic in regards to his personal life and a mix of what is potentially on the horizon in the ring for him. And I think that's what it is with Teofimo Lopez moving forward and where he stands today. That's my overall thought. Now, to give Josh Taylor a minute or two, what is next for Josh Taylor? Should he just absolutely go to 147 and leave 140 alone? Because I think that him making his weight is probably now ran its course. I think so. But the problem is now, will he be able to effectively beat anybody at 147 of any value? Because the fight that we saw last night looked like a fighter that was at the beginning or the middle of the back nine. And the back nine is the end of your golf course play. He looked like he might be getting his Tiger Woods on. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but Josh Taylor might be on the back end. So if he does go to 147, who could he beat at 147? Could he beat a Stanley Honest? Can he beat a Virgil Ortiz? Can he beat a Boots? Matter of fact, could he beat a motherfucking Blair Cobbs? Like, these are the questions that had to be asked. Can he be able to hang at 147, or is it looking like twilight? The dawn, it is dusk time, and the sun is about to go down on Josh Taylor's career. Because sometimes over the hilldom hit you with lightning efficiency. Because Father Time is undefeated. And maybe Father Time has came by and is knocking on his door. We'll see what happens. I think for him, it might be a good idea for him to fight a tune-up fight at 147. But the problem is, for him, will be just like with Crawford as well. I mean, now we're near on the same levels because where they at, But who at Top Rank is at 147 for him to fight is of note? You look at the top 10 in the WBO rankings. I think it might be one fighter that's on Top Rank. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's all I see. So I think he needs to tune up anyway. He's got to kind of build his confidence back up, But I don't know if Josh Taylor can ever get to the level that he was on going into this fight. I don't know if he will reach that level again. That is, yeah. That's what it is. Smells like OTR. What he said, 1 million isn't enough, and I agree with him. I agree with him. At this point, bro, he is now a 2 division Ring Magazine champion. He has earned his spot. He is solidified, bro. Whether we like it or not, anybody that hates Teofimo Lopez, and I don't like Tio, I am here to tell you I hold no bones. I think Tio is a jackass, but that's one really good fighting jackass. That guy put in that work, man, and I have to. If I'm going to be my name, the unbiased fan, I must keep it real. Teofimo Lopez did work. He deserves the respect. He has earned it. He has earned it. And I'm going to give him his flowers and his kudos for what he accomplished. Because that man, he did what he came to do. So I think that's all these things in culmination. $1 million is not enough. The situation with his family, the fact he's going through a divorce, all these things that might be playing a role while he's saying he's retiring. He takes a step away, lets some things matriculate and happen. And then from there, he can make a decision on who to fight next. And I think that the two fights that make the most sense for him personally, based on what he's saying and what he wants, would be Devin Haney or the winner between Rolly and Ryan. Now, what Top Rank will probably try to do is have him fight Ramirez, but but listen, that fight don't move the needle. It's not pay-per-view, and that man wants to be a superstar on pay-per-view, getting paid millions of dollars, and that's what it is. So, with that noted, I think I have reached my time. I've been here 27 minutes talking about Teofimo Lopez. So again, congratulations, Tio. I apologize for being wrong. I'm a man that stands on my square, and if whatever square that I stand on, if it's the wrong one, I will be man enough to come on and give the same energy that I gave before. And that's how I give it up. But I appreciate anybody that watches this with me live, who watches it on the replay. Make sure to share, like, subscribe, chop it up with me, talk boxing anytime you like. I have no problem with that. And anybody that hates me, thank you too. I ain't nobody to hate though, but it is what it is. And it's unbiased fan Brim Reaper. And I'm out.